The following is a paid program by the Whitley Law Firm. Welcome to Attorneys on Call, the program that gives you free legal information from the Whitley Law Firm. Now, here's your host, Drew Smith.
Well, greetings, and thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Attorneys on Call. We've got a great show planned for you today. You're really going to enjoy this. You may not know this, or you may know this, but North Carolina is home to many military bases. One of those bases is Camp Lejeune, the Marine base, and near Jacksonville, North Carolina. And that is going to be the focus of our show today, because for more than 30 years, there was toxic water that the people on the base were exposed to for more than 30 years, dating back to the 1950s, 1953 to be exact. As I said, we're going to focus on that today because it's very relevant today, because you might have a substantial claim that you could make because you may have been affected or know someone that was affected by the toxic water at Camp Lejeune. So we're going to talk about that today. And at any time during the program, call the 800 number on your screen or go to whitleylawfirm.com. That's a great first place to ask questions of our attorneys that are here today. So in studio with us is Ben Whitley of the Whitley Law Firm and Stacy Miller from the Miller Law Firm, also from North Carolina. Gentlemen, great to be with you today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Stacy, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you have joined forces with Ben and the Whitley Law Firm working on the Camp Lejeune cases and the toxic water cases, but tell us a little bit about your background. I know you're from Raleigh, but our viewers would love to hear some more.
Sure. I grew up in Raleigh. I went to high school here, went to college, and went to law school in Raleigh, and have been practicing law for 28 years here in Raleigh.
Great. And you went to Broughton High School in Raleigh, went to Wake Forest. Great. So what kinds of cases do you typically work on?
Yeah, we do a lot of catastrophic injuries, whether it's trucking accidents, medical malpractice cases, cases under the False Claims Act, the traditional plaintiff's work, jury work, trial lawyer.
You said you have we were talking earlier off camera, you said you have kind of a boutique firm. There's 6 other attorneys in your firm, but similar to the Whitley Law Firm. You guys are not a huge firm. You're a family-owned local firm, 2 local firms.
Sure.
Right, Drew, and that's the reason, what we've always strived to do is be able to offer that smaller firm feeling, but also have the resources to go after the largest insurance companies or even government claims. And that's one of the reasons why I asked Stacy to join forces with us, so that we could bring the power of having 2 trial lawyers, 2 teams.
Yeah.
Because these cases, they're going to take a long time. Some of them are going to maybe end up all the way in trial. And we hope not. We hope there's going to be a process set up for folks that they're not having to wait that long, but in case they are, we've got to be equipped. We've got to be equipped to have the best team possible, because I want to make sure our North Carolinians, our clients, have local attorneys that can help them with these cases, and that they can see, they can meet, and they can talk to on the phone. It's very important for cases just like this.
Stacy, what does it mean to you to join forces with the Whitley Law Firm?
Oh, it's an honor to be a part of their family network and firm. Being from North Carolina matters.
Absolutely.
Life's really about relationships.
Yeah.
And, we've been in the courtrooms of North Carolina for over 28 years for us, even longer for you guys. So you learn the judges and the juries, and you can better represent your clients.
You mentioned that being local to North Carolina is important, because Ben and I have talked about this in the past. You see these advertisements from these mega firms that who knows if they're in California or wherever they are, right?
Right, and especially with these Camp Lejeune cases, Drew, and a lot of folks that are watching this show right now, they're probably sick of the ads that they're seeing.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that show and what that means, and who are these people? Who are these people that are coming in to North Carolina and advertising for cases that nobody's ever heard of? Drew, some of them aren't even law firms.
Really?
Yes.
What are they? Just marketing firms?
They're lead generators.
Oh,
so that's it's one of the reasons that I wanted to find the best trial lawyer to help my folks. I wanted to keep it local. I wanted to make sure that we have consumer protection for North Carolinians, and that's what we're going to do.
Stacy, we've heard about the Whitley advantage, and basically it's that personal touch. I get the feeling and the understanding that your firm is very similar.
Yeah, you're not passed off to anybody else. You get a lawyer at Miller Law Group. I grew up in the federal system in Eastern North Carolina. In fact, my first jury trial out of law school was in federal court. And so we have very talented group of lawyers at Miller Law Group who feel at home in federal court.
How is that different, federal court? How is that different than, a district court?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. And federal court, things tend to move a little faster.
Okay.
A little bit more formal.
Okay.
More brief writing.
Okay.
Okay. And so it's a little bit more stringent.
Okay. So a lot more preparation has to take place.
Yeah, a lot more cerebral, if you will.
Right. And a lot of times, Drew, a lot of lawyers are afraid of federal court. You
Really?
know, they're intimidated by it.
Okay.
Some of the things that Stacy said about it, some of the more procedural, it's more, you got to follow the rules.
Yeah.
It's you've got to be the top of your game.
Okay.
You know, and then so I encourage, as I encouraged folks the last time we talked about this, about the Camp Lejeune cases.
Right.
You know, if you don't hire us, hire a local lawyer. And if you're hiring and you're looking and you're interviewing, ask that lawyer, have they tried a jury case in federal court?
Okay.
Important question.
So when you're preparing a case for federal court, there's a lot more prep you have to do, but are there different nuances that are different?
Well, that's a good question. We do focus groups about once a month at Miller Law
Okay.
Group.
Okay.
So we try to take a lot of the guesswork out of it. And so it's very interesting, very educational, and we formulate our strategies a lot of time within the with focus group information that we might get from the jurors in focus groups.
Ben, how important is it to be a experienced litigator in these cases?
Well, it's very important because what is happening is people have come in to North Carolina, they have advertised for these cases with absolutely no intention of taking these cases to court or to trial.
Okay.
You know, and that is not a service to the veterans. That is not a service to the veterans' families, and that's not a service to North Carolinians. I feel strongly about it, and that's why I've worked hard to assemble this team. And it's important to know that these cases, we've got a website that we have set up. It's on the bottom of the screen right now. That's going to have a lot of the information about what it means to qualify for the Camp Lejeune water cases.
Right.
What types of injuries are involved,
right,
and the next step. So we're going to have information on that. That's how folks can get in touch with us. It's on the screen right now, and I encourage everyone to visit that website.
And we do have some of those graphics we're going to show after this short break. You're watching Attorneys on Call, back in just a moment.